We did not get April Fools today. Some people expected, oh yeah, power slap. I thought Dana's bald head was gonna go live talking about some power slap, but we actually got some decent fights announced. Now I'm gonna say decent for multiple reasons. First of all, Kayla Harrison, congrats on being champion. I don't really want to talk too much in this video about the women's fight, but congrats to Kayla Harrison for beating Juliana Pena. As for Merab and Suga, man, I'm so happy. Yeah, is this deserved? No, but the reason I'm actually kind of happy for this is that, unironically, I feel like it gets Umar closer to the title picture. I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit later. And then, of course, we had this fight announced, which I kind of saw coming ever since I seen Ian Garry start tweeting out, like, incoming knockout, I'm going to do this, that, and the third. And he is gonna beat Carlos Prates, which is like, and this is interesting because I've noticed the welterweight weight class have been actually making like contenders fight each other, which is a little bit abnormal for the UFC. Like, this is some real bad man division. Like, last time it was Shavkat, Ian Garry, someone's gotta go. Now it's the cigarette smoker and Ian Garry. You know what I'm saying? Both no one's undefeated here. But you know, the point of the matter is, this is the first time Carlos Prates is gonna be challenged. I know he fought me his last fight, knocked me out, but I sold that. Like, people gotta understand, I took the fall. Like, I was clearly some fake stuff. If you thought that shit was real, brother, you're not the real bad man. But first, I guess, we'll talk about this first because this is going to happen April 26th. So this is this month. In the next 25 days, we will see this fight. Now, Carlos Prates, of course, was supposed to go in there against Jeff Neal, which he was going to lose via pocket boxing, via just getting outworked in the pocket by Jeff Neal. You know, the injury happened. And now we got Ian Garry. Now, Ian Garry, stylistically, is not a bad striker. I feel like people give him a hard time for, yo, dude, against MVP, he turned into a grappler. He does have the grappling skills. He has grappling in his background. That's not surprising to me, at least. I knew MVP is the best striker. Like, MVP, no one can stand with MVP in the welterweight division. Definitely not fucking Carlos Prates or Ian Garry. Wasn't surprised that Ian Garry had to grapple. And I wouldn't be surprised if he used some of that grappling here again. Now, Carlos Prates is used to putting people out really quickly. And we're going to see how much endurance this guy really has. A 5-round fight, man. Dude, all that cigarette smoking and alcohol, brother, I think it's going to catch up to him in this fight specifically. And I think this fight is going to go longer than 3 rounds. And it makes me feel like Ian Garry will get the finish on someone like Carlos Prates. Because, like I said, listen, maybe smoking cigarettes and like drinking booze, maybe that's going to help your endurance or gas tank. I don't know. Like, I could just be, I'm just hoping. But even, say he has the greatest endurance ever. Say his endurance is the best in the UFC. You know, smoking helps him, you know, breathe better and all this. Alcohol helps him. You know, this guy says he smokes like 20 packs of cigs a day or 20 cigs a day, 5 packs. What, brother, this is like, listen. Sometimes people try to be a go-getter and got. It's just time to get got. You get me, bro? Like a real bad man. And Ian Garry's going to be the one to do it. Now, Ian Garry, on a striking standpoint, I actually look at him and I actually think he's a more diverse striker. I think Carlos Prates has some good, like, straight punches. He shows some good diversity in his knees, but so is Ian Garry. Ian Garry, honestly, before the MVP fight, was looked at as a pretty sound striker. Like, you know, it wasn't until the MVP fight where we're like, okay, he does have BJJ, because he's always kind of been talking about, yeah, man, I got grappling skills, dude. I'm so cool. And we're all like, just shut up, dude. Like, whatever. But he kind of showed against MVP. I'm not saying MVP is a great defensive grappler, but he shows that he has the ability to control someone and switch it up. And that's more diversity than I've seen from Carlos Prates at all. I've not seen Carlos Prates really go in there and like, yeah, man, I'm going to grapple this guy, take him down, maul him. Haven't seen that yet. Like, maybe he has a great grappler. We just don't know. But we're going to see. This fight, I really feel like it's a good showing for Ian Garry, because I do think Ian Garry is pretty solid. Yes, he lost to Shavkat. Shavkat fought him very interestingly. He was able to take down and control Shavkat, nearly submit Shavkat. If the same thing happened to Carlos Prates, I don't see Prates being as defensively intelligent in the grappling as someone like Shavkat Rakhmonov. But we're going to have to see. Prates, we're going to check how good Prates is. And there's no doubt in my mind Ian Garry wins. I can't wait to see the odds for this. Like I said, it's going to be an interesting fight as far as like how the media and how people are going to take it online. Like, oh, Carlos Prates is going to go in there and just chin him. Or is it going to be Ian Garry's going to go in there and masterclass him? No matter what way you slice the cake, I feel like people know that this is a fight between two of like one of the better contenders. Like, so there's some contenders in welterweight who are like, These are two of like the, you know, hyped up. They got some aura around them. And I feel like Ian Garry, this is like a coming out party for him, as in like, this is like, I can show how good I am compared to another up and comer. And I do feel like Carlos Prates is the up and comer, but he's just not going to be enough to beat someone like Ian Garry. So that's my overall take on this fight now. Like, of course, early prediction, I'm gonna lean Ian Garry, but like maybe my opinion will be changed. Maybe I'm gonna watch film like, oh, Ian Garry has this gap in his striking. Carlos Prates is really good here. But for now, I think it's a very obvious pick for me. It's a fairly clear pick for me that Ian Garry is gonna beat the hell out of, like, put the beats on him like Dr. Dre. You know, hands on him, lots of bases. But overall, I think Ian Garry is gonna be the one to dethrone the hype train that is known as Carlos Prates. Now that we associated and we talked about this main event, which is, I'm glad it's a main event because they're going to show both guys 5 rounds endurance. Let's talk about these fights that were booked, the 2 title fights. Like I said, I don't really care too much to talk about the women's fight, but as far as Suga and Merab, like, congrats to Suga. I got to give Suga credit for just being like one of the most, like, just Dana White privileged induced champion ever. First of all, he got his championship through like Dana White privilege for the most part. His Aljamain Sterling one was solid. That solidified him as champion because he got the punch. You know, that punch changed his whole life. Then he defended against Chito Vera, who beat Pedro Munoz to earn that title shot. Questionable. Then the first time he gave someone who has who earned the title shot a chance, it was Merab, and Merab destroyed him. You know, Merab destroyed him. Like, Merab destroyed him so much that, like, it wasn't really a close fight. I'll be real. People try to gas at you, oh, well, Kenny, even though he's getting controlled, man, I just think he stole those rounds or something like that. Whatever, bro. You guys can have your opinion. I don't really care. But what you can't have an opinion on is this guy had it. Like, no one can say he deserved this title shot. Like, what? You can't say, Kenny, he had a long reign, though. He defended against the best. He defended against Chito Vera, and he defended against Chito Vera. Chito Vera's the best. Like, that shit doesn't make sense to me. At least not me. Like, it makes sense to some of you guys. Just doesn't make sense to me. I think Umar Nurmagomedov is more deserving of an instant rematch than Suga Sean O'Malley. Yeah, hot take, I guess. I think beating 50-45 in Corey Sandhagen is more impressive than beating Chito Vera, who got 50-45 by Corey Sandhagen. But moving on from that, like I said, who cares? But listen, but why I'm not fully angry at this or upset about this is that I feel like Merab and Suga fighting is perfect because I think Merab wants to fight Jan next. So if the UFC's smart, they're going to make Jan fight Umar. And then the winner of that fight will probably fight for the title. Because if you think about it, Merab has been very prevalent on like, oh, Jan deserves this, Jan deserves that, Jan should be next. Because he knows Jan's an easy stylistic fight. So hear me out. If Umar beats Jan and Merab does what everyone knows he's going to do to Suga this time around and beats Suga, what's next? Like, they have to do Umar versus Merab. So I feel like this is perfect storytelling. This is a perfect storyline to make them fight each other. Now, on a deeper level, how do I see Suga versus Merab? This fight will be in June. But, like, since then, we've seen Merab going there against Umar, who's probably the most well-rounded bantamweight in UFC history. And I didn't think he beat him, but he did really good work as the fight progressed. And then Suga Sean O'Malley since then has beaten recovery for his surgery. Like, since then he's just went to hip surgery, got hip surgery, and now he's kind of rushing into it back in the picture. This just doesn't make, like, he knows he's not gonna win. At least I hope he knows he's not gonna win. Like, I don't think Suga's actually going here like, oh, I'm gonna win this fight. Like, I know he's gonna try to gaslight himself mentally and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna whoop Merab, and it's just not gonna happen. That's the truth of the matter. But maybe the surgery is exactly what he needed to be way better. Knowing how Merab fights, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts him against the fence and then just starts kneeing him in the hip again, and then he's going to break his fucking hip and get another surgery. It's just not an easy fight for Suga, no matter what way you look at it. As a Suga fan, you know what I'm saying, this is like the worst case scenario for you. You're going to be happy because, oh yeah, my boy's getting a title shot. And then you're going to watch the fight and you'll be like, wow, this is so... Wow, I hate looking at this. I didn't realize how one-sided this fight really is. But like, my take on this is I'm happy because I feel like if the UFC match makes correctly and Jan ends up fighting Umar, it's just going to make Umar and Merab have to fight by the end of the year or next year. It has to. That's what's going to happen. And it's like, honestly, Merab's going to run through Suga like without taking a lot of damage. Like, I just doubt, Suga's known for his movement. Now he has a hip surgery done and stuff. I just doubt he's going to make any significant improvements from the first fight. Whereas I've seen Merab in the octagon since their last fight and showing improvement. Like, Merab's just getting better. Merab's fight style, people got to realize, his fight style is very hard to, like, deal with. And I feel like to beat him, you're going to need to make appropriate adjustments or have to get in the octagon again, like after losing to him. Because a lot of times when Merab beats people, he beats them decisively. So usually after you watch a fighter get beaten up decisively, you kind of want to see them go up against some other fighter just to see how their improvement looks or how much better they're getting. But I feel like Suga just really wanted this title shot, and the UFC really wanted another superstar because Alex Pereira just got embarrassed. They lost Suga last year. They just want someone who could appeal to the casual audience. So they're going to look at someone with the rainbow afro who makes people in the crowd wear pink afros and pink wigs. So people go, oh man, this guy's a superstar. That's what Dana wants, and that's what Hunter wants. for the UFC. So now they're rushing this for Suga, which I know Suga wants it too, but it's still rushed in any sense of the word for a Suga or for Suga's team. And he's going to go in there and he's going to lose. And then he's going to have the excuse though, oh yeah, maybe I should have had a little gimme before I came in. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I know Suga fans are like, dale, brother, dale. I'm so happy, dale. But be careful what you ask for, because this is going to be a one-sided ass whooping. I don't think that Suga's going to make appropriate adjustments for now. So early prediction, like maybe I'm going to be like, oh, I'm going to analyze the surgery, see how the surgery went. Analyze some fucking sparring footage of Suga. Dude, Suga's just like, Suga, man. Like, you get what you expect from him. He only has puncher's chance really against everyone, you know what I'm saying? But even the way Merab fought him in the first fight, he was just really passive, circling the outside, then he exploded into takedowns and took down Suga at will. Suga just wasn't as physically strong as Merab in any way, shape, or form. So it was kind of like an embarrassing beatdown. And I just see this being a more embarrassing beatdown, probably more decisive. And the first fight was already wicked decisive. Maybe people like MMA Guru after the fight, after Merab runs through him, he could be like, oh, but Kenny, I think 2, 3, 4, like, you know what I'm saying? Just try to, control time shouldn't count. It's funny how people loved Merab in the Umar fight. Watch how all these Merab fans go back to Suga and start glazing prior to the fight. It's going to be kind of funny, but yeah, for this fight, like, it doesn't make sense on paper. Of course, it's not deserving, but I'm not mad at it because I feel like it could set up a fight with Umar and Merab down the road. We'll see, though. I'm sure that Merab might be like, oh, Song Yadong deserves it for beating Cejudo or something else, but we'll see what comes down to that. And for Pena Harrison, I just feel like Juliana Pena's last performance against fucking whatever Shorty's name is just wasn't good. Look at me forgetting Pennington, yeah. It just wasn't great for either one. I did have Pena winning. I was really confident on Pena, but she even under-delivered from what I was expecting. Kayla Harrison, in contrast, is just going to probably beat the hell out of her and out-grapple that old woman. So congrats to Kayla Harrison again for being the new WMMA Bantamweight champion. But let me know what you guys think about these fights. Honestly, the announcements were I didn't watch it live because I was doing something, but I came back and I saw it and I was like, okay, we can work with this. But overall, I'm not disappointed. I was hoping for some Usman news. I don't know why. Maybe some Ilya Islam news. I don't know why. I'm just I'm jumping the gun. But overall, let me know what you guys think about these announcements and the fights. How did they go down below? But that's it for me, and God bless. 2, 3, 4.